I don't think we have something to do here. Let's talk to Heinrichs. I know nothing about you, Heinrichs. Could you tell me a little about you?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
Do you remember your home planet?
Like many psychers unaware of their curse,
How did you discover your abilities?
when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Ooh. Torso sparrows are truly dangerous. Hope you have mastered your abilities since then.
When I arrived on Holy Terra and was tested, I was found to be suitable material for becoming a sanctioned psyker, able to bend his curse to his own will. I can assure you that the adepts of the Astra Telepathica were right in their assessment.
Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
Tell me about the black ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psykers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers. Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years.
Oh.
It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Let's talk about something else. How long have you served in the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
Yeah, because the time while you are in material space passes differently each time you travel. You visited many worlds in your survey, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, Even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the Segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
Yeah, no. For someone who has been in service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Let's change the subject.
Gladly.
You are not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct? Correct.
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Koronus Expanse, I've been working alone.
Wandering among the stars without family or friends, don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there other acolytes in the Koronus Expanse? Okay, let's talk about something else.
Such as?
What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Okay, I see. I must take my leave. Let's talk to Jugasta. Lord Captain. Okay, that's it for now. Proud to serve the dynasty. Let's talk to Hellsman. Lord Captain, Master Hanson reward your service. Okay, must take my leave. We don't have anything else for him. Let's talk to Argenta.
Greetings.
We don't have anything for her. Let's talk to Cassia.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
What does your special side reveal?
The esteemed Magos Haneman is shattered, like a beautiful stained glass window into a mosaic of colors. His bright, beckoning hues are mixed together in complete disarray. I must confess it perplexes me. Normally, scarlet and steel are all that fills the heart of a servant of the Omnissiah. Behind the cobalt steel of his thoughts, behind the cold, faded gray of his emotions, an ember, the color of amber, glows in Master Van Calox's soul. So bright and warm, one is tempted to touch it. It is sad that the interrogator seeks to drown it with his own hands in the bottomless blue of duty. Sad indeed. I can relate.
This is where I must beg my leave.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Let's talk to him. Lord Captain himself. To what do I owe them? Okay, we don't have anything to talk about. So let's do the servitors now. Let's do... Where are the servitors? Here. Let's decide. Pleasure to see you. How may be of assistance? I'm ready to look at the malfunctioning servitors. As you wish, your lord. Will you like engine? Yes, Pascal will come to me. With me. As your lordship commands. Okay. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, all standing in a long spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. The moment his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion, all as one, as if obeying a command. The servitors turned to face the... gestured for his engineer to study the servitors. The engineer pressed slowly waded into the motionless rag of the servitors, peering into their faces and checking the readings. There was no haste in Pascal's actions. With mesmerizing diligence, he inspected every single unit in his path, and binary prayers were his companion in his investigation. The examination confirmed the Technoman's initial hypothesis. The servitors' souls, or rather the souls of the people they once were, had awakened. Not yet fully conscious of their past and present, these half-machines will nonetheless feel primitive emotions and sensations such as fear and pain. This undesirable consequence of shoddily performed lobotomy is most rarely observed, and yet, for some unknown reason, had occurred in every single one of the servitors gathered in the bay. Continue. All present held their share. Took several steps towards the servitors. Immediately the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped toward the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movements with frightening precision. The rock trader halted in place and after a moment's thought waved his hand and his servitors just synchronously repeated a gesture as well. When Lord Captain turned quizzically to the Technoman, so did the servitors as if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, be it an incline of head, a wave of hand, or a step to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute until the service finally came to a stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rock trader approached with confidence, examined the servitors. As High Factorum, it was I who prompted that entire inspection, and thus it was my duty to follow the rock captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally stiff, are shaking wildly. Their bottom veins were pulsing under their copper collars, inscribed with their past offenses. It was as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaking Technomat behind us proposed that the human souls had awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber deep within the lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the Technoman added that the servitors used to function properly and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. His gaze still trained on the motionless but animate half-machines and half-people. The Lord Captain stepped away from the servitors. He demanded a report on the defective unit status from the Technomats. Techno's long-winded and detailed work have been summarized in a single keeper. Despite the fact that normal, they are still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances do not call for their termination. Turn to Anos's decision. To leave. I'll do the fourth. To leave the servitors to their work, for there was nothing in their behavior that the Lord Captain found alarming. Now, as the Lord Captain noticed, the servitors attempted the same thing they were worked before. The crew was initially unverted by their presence, but adapted to their quirks soon enough. Especially since following the incident in question, there was a noticeable reduction in the servitors' strange behavior. With the fate of the defective servitors decided, nothing could now distract from his mission. Okay, so we did this one. You went there. Let's level them up. Navigator ability. Okay. Hmm. Oh, Blade Dancer. Let's see this one. This ability costs 10 wounds to use. The Blade Master. Okay, you gain 20% parry while under the effect. Can parry range attacks. Monster. Or we can do this. Let's take this. Okay.